the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
What you were talking about is biological.
You're not going to answer my question, it sounds like.
Biological males.
This isn't hard, doctor. Can men get pregnant?
Okay, you just saw that clip. Stay right here because what you just watched is only the beginning, and the full video makes it even clearer. What Senator Josh Hawley did there was not a stunt. He was a United States senator in a formal hearing, asking a medical doctor, someone brought in as a scientific expert, one of the most basic biological questions you can ask. And she could not give him a straight answer. I have a lot to say about this. All of it after we watch the full video. But first, if you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe because this channel is about saying what's true even when it's uncomfortable. And if you're already here, you know that's exactly what we do. All right.
Senator Hawley, I think it's science-based by the way that men can't have babies, but that's going to be something. Senator Hawley, don't worry about it. Senator Hawley, that was Senator Moody.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since you bring it up, why don't we just start there? Dr. Verma, I wasn't sure I understood your answer to Senator Moody a moment ago. Do you think that men can get pregnant?
I hesitated there because I wasn't sure where the conversation was going or what the goal was. I mean, I do take care of patients with different identities. I take care of many women. I take care of people with different identities. And so that's where I paused. I think, yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
Well, the goal is just the truth. So can men get pregnant?
Again, the reason I paused there is I'm not really sure what the goal of the question is.
The goal is just to establish a biological reality. You just said a moment ago that science and evidence should control, not politics.
Absolutely.
So let's just test that proposition. Can men get pregnant?
I take care of people with many identities, but
Can men get pregnant?
I take care of many women that can get pregnant. I do take care of people that don't identify as women. That
Can men get pregnant?
Again, as I'm saying,
Let me just remind you what you testified to a moment ago. Science and evidence should control, not politics. So can men get pregnant? You're a doctor, I
agree.
think.
Science and evidence should guide medicine.
Do science and evidence tell us that men can get pregnant? Biological men, can they get pregnant?
I also think yes/no questions like this are a political tool. And
No, yes/no questions are about the truth, doctor. Let's not make a mockery of this proceeding. This is about science and evidence, and I'm asking you. You know, the United States Supreme Court just heard arguments yesterday at great length on this question. This is not a hypothetical question. This is not theoretical. It affects real people in their real lives. And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert. And you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce.
Yes or no?
Again, I would be more than happy to have a conversation with you that is not coming from a place of trying to be polarized and push.
I'm not trying to be polarizing. I'm trying to ask, I think it is extraordinary that we are here in a hearing about science and about women. And for the record, it's women who get pregnant, not men. We are here about the safety of women and science that shows that this abortion drug causes adverse health events in 11% of cases. That's 22 times greater than the FDA label, another fact you haven't acknowledged, and yet you won't even acknowledge the basic reality that biological men don't get pregnant. There's a difference between biological men and biological women. I don't know how we can take you seriously and your claims to be a person of science if you won't level with this on this basic issue. I thought we were past all of this, frankly. I can't believe we're still here talking about this.
I am a person of science, and I'm also someone here who's here to represent the complex experiences of my patients, and I don't think polarized language or questions serve that goal. I don't think they serve the American people.
It is not polarizing to say that there is a scientific difference between men and women, and I want this to be clear and for the record. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. That is not polarizing, that is truth. It is also, by the way, the United States Constitution, which offers unique protections to women in a variety of circumstances as women. And your refusal to recognize women as women and men as men is deeply corrosive to science, to public trust, and yes, to constitutional protections for women as women. And I think it's extraordinary that you would sit here and advance a political agenda that has been thoroughly discredited and rejected by the American people in this forum. And I'm glad we had this exchange because it is exceptionally clarifying. It is also in many ways quite depressing. I see that my time has nearly expired. I just want to thank the other witnesses for being here. Thank you for protecting women and children. Thank you for your valiant efforts. Thank you for following the science. And thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this hearing.
Senator Alsobrook.
Let's watch. Then we talk. Okay, we just watched the whole thing. And I'll say it straight. Senator Josh Hawley was the only person in that room actually doing his job. Here's what happened. This hearing was supposed to be about science, medicine, and women's health. The expert witness called to speak on behalf of science could not answer the most basic biological question put to her. Can men get pregnant? That's it. That's the whole question. And the answer, biologically, is no. That is not a political opinion. That is a fact you would find in a first-year medical textbook. To be fair, I get that Dr. Varma works with patients of different identities and that medical professionals deal with sensitive situations every day. But that is not what Hawley was asking. He was not asking about her bedside manner or how she talks to individual patients. He was asking about biology. A trained medical professional should be able to answer that without hesitation. What stood out most to me was how she justified not answering. She called yes or no questions a political tool. She said the question was polarizing. But think about that for a second. Calling a factual question political is itself a political move. It is a way of avoiding the answer while looking like the reasonable one in the room. Hawley saw through it immediately. He said something worth repeating. It is not polarizing to say that women are a biological reality and should be treated and protected as such. And he is right. Biological differences between men and women are not extreme or controversial. They are the foundation of medicine, reproductive health, and the legal protections he was referencing. There was also the point about the abortion drug, the claim that its adverse health event rate is 22 times higher than what the FDA label shows, affecting 11% of cases. Whatever your position on abortion policy, that is a serious claim that deserved a direct response from a medical expert. She didn't really engage with it. That pattern, dodge, deflect, reframe ran through the entire exchange. My overall take is this. Hawley came in prepared and focused. When the witness evaded, he didn't get flustered or drop it. He kept pressing, stayed calm, and put his position on the record. That is what accountability looks like. That is a legislator doing his job. And I think most people watching this, wherever they stand politically, can see that something went wrong on the other side of that table. We are in a moment where basic facts get treated as controversial and ideology gets dressed up as expertise. Senator Hawley pushed back against that clearly and on the record. He said women are real, biological differences are real, and those things matter for law, medicine, and the safety of women and children. He was right to say it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did Hawley handle this well? Did Dr. Varma have valid reasons for her answers? I want to hear from you. Stay honest, and I'll see you in the next one.